Welcome to Better with Beers podcast, episode 11. Brandon, Alex, and Earl back at it again. Alex and Earl are back in their, well, Earl's already in his home state, but Alex is back in his home state, Delaware. Yep. You guys had a good time down there, didn't you? I could tell.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Learned a lot, watched some of those. I think we talked about this in the other episode. Yeah. Watched some videos about different types of bourbon and, had a little bourbon tasting of ourselves.
Yeah, no, you guys had a good time down there. And besides the Nationals crap there, the setup was cool. Especially watching the episode back. You guys had a really good setup there. I liked it.
So that was my sister and her family moved to that house 2 years ago, I believe. And that bar was actually their island at their old kitchen. Their new kitchen has an island. And so they didn't know what to do with this. So they just put it down in the basement when they had moved in. And part of the basement became the kids' video game room and hanging out and everything. And so eventually our brother-in-law, he said, you know what? And he's like, this is going to be my space right here. And he had the bar. And so he moved it away because like a little nook anyways. And so he bought a little tiny TV. He threw up on the wall with a fire stick. And he was able to watch sports. He put a couple shelves up so he could put some bottles up there. And he started stowing things underneath. And he bought a couple of bar stools. And he tells us now that when he comes in almost every day, he goes straight down to the basement after dressed after work. And that's his little...
Why wouldn't you?
Man cave, decompress.
Yeah, getaway.
Everyone needs a way to decompress.
Yeah, 100%.
It's this is what I do. I go downstairs, I sit here, I turn on, even if it's freaking Japanese soccer, I just turn something on, some sports on, pour myself a drink, and he's got a beer nut tray and everything like that. So it's funny because he was telling us, he's like, he called home the other day. My sister was at home during the day with the kids, and he's like, so what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm downstairs at the bar. He's like, you're what? It's become a thing now, apparently. But yeah, it's, I think every person needs to figure out their escape, their own little way of decompressing to get away from the stresses of life and work and all that. And he's built himself one, and more power to him.
I don't blame him. When I had my bar, that was kind of it. Now my way to decompress, get away from life, is this podcast.
Hey,
so I love it. Thanks, guys.
There you go.
I look forward to this podcast every week. Earl, is your basement finished outside that room or no?
Yes. Yeah. So the whole basement's finished. This is the only room with actual carpet. The rest of the basement floor is for the most part cement. We got an area down, but it's still drywall all the way around. So yeah, the whole basement is finished and insulated and everything. And I have my plans for my bar area.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the reason I asked. I figured you have
I have plans. I'm not allowed to do a single piece of construction over there, not even paint, until I finish the bathroom I've already torn apart upstairs. So, I gotta finish that project before I work on a fun project. But hopefully, when that gets set up, I can do my podcast over there. We'll see.
Yeah. Alex, you still have that bar from your wedding?
I do. Yep.
What's in the garage for now?
Yeah. So funny thing about that bar, I built it in our friend's shop, in his garage, and used it for the wedding. And I thought, what, it's great forward thinking because I installed these metal grommets on all four sides so that all we had to do is just lift it up from each side, drop it in the bed of my truck, strap it down, and go to the wedding. So it was great. I built it to use for the wedding. We used it for the wedding, and it worked out great. Problem is that I did not measure the doorways in my house to get it into the room that I'm actually in right now.
Oh, okay.
So it's now a garage bar that is unfortunately has accumulated quite a lot of stuff as things in the garage do. So, work in progress.
Forward thinking, but it's kind of more leaning forward thinking, not really thinking too far ahead.
Yeah. Right. But however, I do have another bar that I just need to assemble, put together. And it's one of those, outdoor bars. But
right. Did you get two of those?
Yeah, I did. I did.
What, two outdoor bars?
That's a good story.
Oh,
yeah.
You were saying that.
That's funny.
I did. Yeah. So we bought this outdoor bar set from, I'm not going to say where I bought it from because,
You're
They
listening.
might want it back.
Yeah, exactly. So, we bought it for a couple friends of ours who they were getting married, and we were trying to figure out a good wedding gift for them. And their wedding has been postponed and rescheduled a couple times because of the whole pandemic thing. So they decided, that they were tired of just, waiting until their venue is going to be available. So they got married in the backyard. And we decided, you know what, we're going to contribute to that backyard wedding by giving them an outdoor bar, as like an area where people can kind of hang out and drink and have a good time during the reception part. So I was in Utah when I ordered this thing and went back and forth to the company I ordered it for. The first bar I ordered was actually on back order, and that wasn't going to come until after the wedding. So then I called them back. They put me on the phone with the sales department, and we ordered a different bar. And they said, yep, we promised. We just talked to the warehouse. It's in stock. They just picked it up today. I paid an extra $100 in shipping to make sure it was going to be there for that weekend. And Thursday came around, no bar. Friday came around, no bar. Saturday came around, the day of the wedding, no bar. So, I got home on Sunday because I missed the wedding myself. I told my wife, I was like, I'm going to give them another week, because they were having a lot of shipping issues with the pandemic and moving into the holidays and everything. So I'll give them another week. Called them up, say, hey, I still don't have the bar. They're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. So they sent another one. 2 days later, I got a bar. Sweet. The day after that, I got another bar. Double sweet.
Surprise.
Yeah. So my wife's like, what are you going to do with the other bar? I said, what bar?
Exactly.
Now, to be fair, if they really wanted it back, they would have done their inventory and said, all right, we sent this guy 2. We're going to send him a shipping label to ship one back to us, or we're going to tell him we're going to charge him.
I have not heard a single word. No
Most
emails,
companies, they're just going to write that
off.
off at that point. So,
Yeah.
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 I don't think you're doing anything dishonest there.
No.
Yeah. No,
I mean, really,
they send it to you.
Right. Yeah. It's like finding a $50 bill on the ground in the middle of a desert and with no one around. You're not gonna die of thirst and starvation trying to find the owner of that $50 bill. You're doing them a favor.
That's
Obviously
a heck of an analogy.
Well,
Anyway.
Anyway, we're gonna move on to featuring our beers tonight. I'm gonna let Earl go first because he's been waiting to pour his beer.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first.
I'm thirsty. Look, all right. And I'm really thirsty because we went out to dinner and apparently Applebee's, at least around us, got hit hard because I asked the lady, what do you got on tap? We got Mick Ultra and PBR.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got in bottle, and it was just as bad. So, yeah, I drank sweet tea. So it's like I was drinking to get home.
Is that bad? Damn.
Yeah, I just like, no. It's like I'm not a snob, but I guess I kind of am. It's just like I'm not going to, just for the sake of drinking beer, I'm not going to drink really bad beer. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, so I went to my local beer shop today and looking for something interesting and different. So Terrapin, which is a good brewery. Got a lot of Terrapin beers.
Yeah.
This is called Moo-Hoo. It's a chocolate milk stout. And the owner of the store said this is basically alcoholic chocolate milk.
Ooh.
Nice.
Moo-Hoo. More cowbell, it says at the top.
It sounds like Yoo-Hoo.
Yeah.
SNL.
Moo-Hoo.
Yep.
Moo-hoo.
And my backup beer, because I'll probably get to it just because one's usually not enough, is Sweet Josie. It's a brown ale from Lone Rider Brewing Company. I don't know. It's just a brown ale, and the can looked neat.
Yeah.
It's different. So,
Nice.
A couple good
see how
ones
that
there.
goes.
All right, Alex, you can go next. You got a cool cup now.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So I'll showcase my cup first. So I got this for Christmas for my wife. This is made out of an actual ram's horn. It's a website that hand makes these just like the Vikings did. And you can order them with a thick lacquer on it, so it's nice and smooth, or with no lacquer finish. So she picked the one that she thought I would like, which she was correct, because you can really feel all the grooves. I mean, it's so cool, to look at all the marks and scratches and everything. I mean, this mark right here was probably from like a fight that this ram got into. Just to think of that is
Actually,
really
it got
neat.
dropped on the factory floor, but
Probably.
Hey, no, it did not.
Come on,
It was
don't ruin the magic, man.
Yeah. He was rubbing it on the rock in Iceland.
After fending
Yeah,
off
so this is going to be my drinking mug
Yeah.
for
Get
the
one of
foreseeable
those. Those
future.
are cool.
The beer, so I've showcased a couple Iron Hill beers. I can't remember if I actually pointed this out or not on previous episodes when I've had these. Like the Christmas episode, I had their reindeer one, and Iron Hill has not in the past actually made and distributed beers to liquor stores and distributors. They were a restaurant exclusively. You could get some Iron Hill beer that was brewed in the restaurant, but they didn't do canning and bottling and distribute the beer out into beer stores.
It's more like a
Now they are. This is a brand new thing for them. And this one is called Double Kryptonite IPA.
Nice. Ooh, that's a good little segue later. Oh wait,
Yeah. See, now you know where I got that idea.
Nice.
I was looking at my beer. I'm like, what am I? Oh,
His beer's a nice segue. My background's a nice segue, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So I'm kind of excited. 9.4% alcohol, little high.
Actually, when I feature mine, which I guess I'll do now since you're done.
Go ahead.
Mine's also 9.4, so I'm right
even
there with you.
look at mine. Mine's 6.1. Man, I'm lightweight tonight.
Oh, it's all right. So, funny enough, when I went to pick a beer tonight, I specifically was looking for a beer that would look good on my green screen. I'm buying beers that have green in there are ruined on the green screen.
He's like, look at my beer.
Yeah.
Really? Look, it's there. I swear.
Yeah, it's in my hand.
Where's the beer?
Yeah. I want to pick something that could show on the green screen, and I want to pick something that was just sounded different. Now, I am back to the IPAs, so it is what it is. But listen to this. So it's called, well, I guess the beer company. Let me say the beer company first. Where's the beer company at? Oh, right in the front. Aslan Beer Company, and it's in Virginia. So we were talking about this before we started recording the episode. Earl, it's in Earl's kind of territory, right? Like not too far.
Well,
from
not
you.
really. No.
Okay, not close to you, but it's in your state.
Look, you would get kicked out of Southern Virginia if you said that Alexandria is part of Virginia. So it's a big thing.
I'm sorry.
It's they wish to secede from Northern Virginia area.
Ooh, okay. Well, sorry for anybody who's watching from that area. I'm not well versed in Virginia, but yeah, it's from Alexandria, Virginia. Also, I guess Herndon, which is same area. But anyway, Aslan Beer Company. It's called Isolation Anniversary Beer, and it's a double dry hopped double IPA brewed with passion fruit, mango, peach, and vanilla, aged on cypress and sugar maplewood.
So that's a lot going on there.
I know. That's why.
Yeah, it is.
That's why I picked it. You actually see the can. Yeah, see, like the description's long.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let me know how that tastes. I'm really curious now.
Well, I've already been drinking it. It's actually like when Alex.
I already had like 5 or 6 of them. So.
No. Just how I sounded in the intro in the last
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Alex, I don't know if you realized, but when we were on just me and you before we started recording, I was like, you were doing something. I was like, wow. I went like this.
No, that? I didn't.
It's because I took the first sip. I mean, this really hits your palate in like an amazing way. Like it was like, I don't know, it's like heaven on the tongue. Like I can't explain. Like I can't.
What do you get out of it if you were to like break down the taste profile without getting too crazy about it? Like, what do you taste the most?
Well, definitely mango and passion fruit for sure.
Okay.
Which is the first 2 ingredients. I'm not sure if that's like their primary. I don't really taste much vanilla.
So vanilla's usually subtle.
Yeah.
Is it all sweet or is a little bit of bitterness to it?
So the initial taste is very, very sweet, and then it gets bitter on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
but not in a bad way. Like it's actually really
like dry?
good. Like dry a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like dry.
Is that maybe like the cypress and sugar maplewood because it's aged on that? I don't know.
No, the dryness is going to come from the double dry hop. The dry hopping is
right.
Hopping during the fermentation process is dry hopping, and that's where you're going to get a lot of that from. Yeah.
So after I read all that, literally in parentheses in very small font underneath, it says "woo" or "woo." You know what I mean? Like it's a mouthful, which it is a mouthful.
Yeah.
Whew. But no, it's really really good. I'm like.
What does it look like? It's not in the glass. What's it look like?
I don't. Actually, I do have a glass. I should.
That's all right.
Maybe I'll get up while you guys are doing something later.
That's part of the whole beer experience. The look of it, the smell of it.
I know. You're right.
Well, you can't see mine because it's inside of a.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mug.
Well, when I crack open my second one, and while someone's saying something, I'll just run real quick and grab it. It's not the first time we've walked off.
That's cool, though. No, I mean, even I'm sure I could get that around here, and I've never heard of it. That sounds. It's like you said. I like a lot of different beers, and that's one that would definitely make me think about it and probably pick it up. It's like I'm just gonna get one of these, which is just what I did with these two. Like I wasn't sure about this Moohoo and this brown ale, so I only bought one of each. Yeah, just to try, and I would definitely try that.
I'm telling you, it's oddly refreshing, and you know what? It does not taste like a strong beer. It's 9.4. It's not like a strong beer. This is something
sneak up on you.
Yeah, obviously it would sneak up on you, but this is something I could totally drink outdoors in the summer, just because of the flavor. It's just sweet, but not too sweet. A little bitterness on the back end. But wow, I mean, I
like it.
On Untapped, I would definitely get at least 4.5 for sure. I would buy this again for sure. But yeah, very good.
Awesome. This Kryptonite double IPA is actually pretty good now that I'm tasting it and got it all poured and everything. It's not it. I would have expected it to be a lot hoppier than it actually is, and it's not. It's pretty subtle.
Does it list the IBUs on your can, Brandon? What the IBUs are? They may not. Not all beers list them. Just curious.
I don't see it on this can.
Okay. They usually tell us how bitter it is and gives an idea.
Right.
Yeah, mine does.
Cool. Some interesting beers. I love it.
It's weird. It's the first time I've seen it on a can where they actually spelled out percent. 9.4 and they spelled out percent. It's weird. Anyway. All right. So yes, we mentioned a couple segues with my background and Alex's beer, but we'll talk about when we get to there. We're going to do some Would You Rathers like usual. I think it's a staple for all of our episodes. We're going to introduce kind of a new segment in between. We're calling it random questions. I found a random questions generator online. So I'm going to hit the button. It's going to generate a random question, and we're just going to answer it, spitball off it without none of us knowing what the question is. And we have to answer it no matter how dumb it is, boring, not boring, hard to answer, whatever. We're going to figure it out and spitball off it. And then we're going to get to our final segment in the night. So sound good, guys?
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right. So we'll get some Would You Rathers now. I guess since we talked a lot about beer in the beginning, we'll do a semi-speed, I won't try to answer quick and not going too long about them, but I got some funny ones. Immature, but funny.
No.
Leave it to me to, pick immature ones. But, all right, first one. You're in a crowded room. Would you rather fart loudly and everyone laughs at you, or be the only one laughing obnoxiously when someone else farts?
I've done both.
I was like, I'm okay with either. You get to a certain point in life, you just don't care what people think. So no, I mean, it's like, I think I'd rather be I'd rather not stink. Well, no, everybody's laughing. That means they appreciate it. So they're not going to be upset if you fart. Well, they're all laughing at you.
You know what comes to mind like immediately is that scene in Liar Liar when he walks out of the elevator and he turns around and goes, "It was me."
Yeah. No, that's great. Yep. And I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
So that's my thought process. Like, if I had a choice, I don't want to stink. I'd be okay with being everybody look at me strange because I'm laughing for no reason at all. But if everyone's laughing at my fart, then all right, they appreciate it. I'm good with that.
Yeah,
so I'd go with that
good thing. Yeah, for sure. No, I'd probably go with that one too. I mean, the other one's kind of fun, like being the only one laughing when someone else farts. I mean, that'd be kind of funny to be the only one obnoxiously laughing. But no, I like that. It's a little awkward. That's more awkward than the other one.
I'm gonna be honest. Like I won't hold in a fart. Like I've been in those positions before where I feel like I have to hold it in because I'm not in an appropriate area where I should just let one rip. Like on a first date with somebody, or
You hold a couple in though. After a while, that one that actually makes its way out, that's a good one usually.
But it hurts so bad. It hurts.
I mean, you're mentioning for like a date. Like on my first dates, I do actually try to hold them in on that. Like I don't want it to.
But doesn't all right? So all right. So let's go. Brandon, first date. You're holding in a couple farts, especially if you decide, let's go to a Mexican restaurant because I'm an idiot and I don't want to fart for you.
Just wait till the waiter walks by.
Yeah. Or you think it's going to be a and it's
He's not
more like
getting
a
tipped tonight.
Yeah.
There's $1 off his tip.
Okay, look, it's not even the sound that worries me. Like at a Mexican restaurant, it'd be the smell. That silent one that starts
Oh, yeah.
smelling really bad. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, then go to an Indian restaurant and just say it's just the curry.
That's true.
So, but here's the danger with that being okay with just letting it out. Depending on what your dietary regimen is, you may sometimes a little more than just fart comes, a little more than air comes out.
Exactly.
If you could be in an awkward situation.
That is a really good test, though. You know what? If you're on your first date and you just let one rip, it's a good test to see if she's really going to stick around. Because if she's just like, ew, that's so gross, you're so nasty.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, you don't know.
She wouldn't say
just
that.
walk away now.
She wouldn't say that.
But if
She'd talk
she's
trash
like,
about what's going on.
I'll give that a 4.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a good point. I'm gonna start qualifying my dates based on that. I'm gonna
There you
start
go.
farting now. If you can rate it or laugh at it, then we're going on a second date.
Not if you can beat it
Qualified.
though. If you outplay me on farts, then no, it's not going to work out.
even better.
That's even better. No, I'm thinking that same thing. That's even better.
If she
Can
can
you
fart
imagine,
on
like-
command, you need to take her home and wife her up.
Wife her up. Wow. All right, Mr. Three Marriages.
Hey,
Oh yeah, that's a good.
not a lot of
Oh, you had to.
I know.
Burn.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
we're-
Okay. So,
Where do we go from here?
so I think did we all pick the same thing?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
farting.
Everyone laughing.
Yeah,
but
just
us.
let it roll. If everyone's cool with it, I'm
Yeah.
cool with it.
All right. Cool.
Yep.
So the next one's a fart one too. I like 2 fart ones. I don't know why I was in a fart mood tonight, but all right. Would you rather have your breath smell like a bad fart or have your laugh sound like a fart? That makes sense?
Well,
Yeah.
wouldn't
How would
your
your
breath
laugh-
smell like a fart? Like, if your laugh would smell like a fart if your breath smelled like a fart?
No,
No,
your
so-
laugh sounds like a
Sounds
fart.
like a fart.
Sounds.
Don't smell. Every
Oh.
time you laugh, it sounds like a fart,
Yeah.
or your breath always smells like a bad fart.
You would die laughing though, because you would be laughing at the
I
sound
know
of
you wouldn't
yourself
stop.
laughing.
You wouldn't stop. It would just be constant farts.
Dude, but that'd be a perfect cover for a fart, though. It's like, look, I'm just laughing. It's just me laughing. Oh, he's just laughing again.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, these tie in now because that whole thing, like when if I'm on a first date and I have a fart that's about to come out, I'll just start laughing when I want to do it, and it's just.
But she's got to understand that that's what your laugh sounds like at first, though.
Oh, yeah, that could also ruin it.
You have to lay some groundwork there before
What
you
if
actually-
everyone who's laughing at you for farting makes fart sounds when they laugh? So the whole room sounds like they're all farting.
I didn't swallow my beer yet, dude. That almost came out for real. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be hilarious. Can you imagine? You fart, everyone's laughing at you for farting, and they're all farting as they're laughing. It sounds like farts.
Man, yeah, you know, if you're 12 years old, this is the podcast for you.
Yeah, exactly. I the next 2 are not as immature.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to pour Larry the Cable Guy here. If you can't laugh at that, you got to get out of here right now.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I'm fun.
I don't want you here. But I think I'd rather just I don't. It's so hard though. Like you don't want your breath. I mean, a bad.
Yeah,
fart.
because sometimes you
They're
taste
like-
your burps.
Yeah, which is bad enough. So
Exactly.
imagine
But
your breath
that's something you can
constantly
learn to
smells like a
tolerate
bad
too.
fart.
My breath can be pretty rank sometimes, though. I mean, especially if like I've been drinking the night before and I just like crash, and then I wake up.
Still different though.
Yeah, and
It's still way different.
this is basically saying like 24/7, you're either laughing like it sounds like a fart, or your breath always smells. Like your wife
could be
would-
the life of the
your
party,
wife-
though.
But your
If
wives
you belch-
wouldn't want to kiss you if your breath smells that like a fart all the time. Like,
But you could be the life of the party because if you belch good enough and somebody's got a lighter nearby all the time, you could
Yeah.
definitely do some good party jokes with that.
that's true.
Party tricks. You know, it's just
But-
got some straight methane coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my laugh sounds like a fart though. I think that's funnier, more funny. I don't know, funnier, whatever. But I wouldn't want to taste taste that bad fart smell or have somebody else smell it all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, I would have to go with that too. I mean, because I've tasted farts before, it's pretty bad.
All right, I'm starting off the trailer with that line right there.
I mean,
there's no better way for me to say that, or worse way for me to say that.
I tasted farts before.
It's just like I cannot imagine a situation. Who were you brown nosing when this happened?
Oh,
I mean, really?
Hey, you got to get somewhere in your career, man. I'm a high school dropout. I basically have my whole head of that sucker.
Oh my god!
I mean, it's like, how's that happen? It's like, you smell it, and I don't know, you really taste it after it's done come through the air. But I mean, like,
you farted or have someone in the room with you fart, and you could just taste, like, it lingers, and you can taste it. You ever farted in the shower? With all the steam and everything around you?
Yeah.
It's actually really horrible.
That's
actually a really good point.
Smells so bad.
Yeah, they do.
And there is something, I remember reading something online about it. Like, there's a reason for that, a scientific reason or whatever that happens. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, they smell so bad.
Pro marriage tip, and this may be the reason why I've had a couple divorces. If you want to have a romantic shower with your lover, don't fart in the shower.
Yeah, that will definitely ruin it for sure.
You will find divorce papers on the toilet when you get out.
On the toilet. Written in lipstick on the mirror.
You're right.
It's on here.
That's actually a good divorce story, though. Well,
you know what? Well, I got all y'all be listening to this stuff right here. And then everyone just stands up and.
Yep.
Oh god. Oh, I'm glad I picked these fart ones. So, are we all picking the laughing like a fart, or do your laugh sound like?
No,
a fart?
I think I could. I'd go with Tate. I'll go with the burp. Yeah, it's like a fart.
I mean, I could taste a fart.
It tastes bad, but it's still something you can tolerate. It's an internal suffering as opposed to everyone hearing just like wet. I don't know, freaking whoopee cushion coming out of your mouth every time you laugh.
Make some heavy investments in some Altoids.
Yeah.
Yo, Earl, what I want you to do now is when you're doing the post editing, at some point when we're laughing, I want you to do farts over top of it so we can actually see it in action.
Some farts.
Yeah, dumping some farts. From me or Alex, we picked it.
That would be funny.
Oh god. All right.
Yeah, especially that wet fart comment about being in the shower. You find like a real wet one.
Yeah.
That'll really paint the picture.
Bubble. Okay. Anyway, never mind. Moving on. Okay, no more fart ones. The fart ones are over. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Haven't we done this one already?
Did we?
No, we did one where it's like fighting a bunch of zombies or one werewolf.
I swear I've heard this one before, though. All right, maybe I heard it outside. Maybe I heard it somewhere else outside of podcast.
Yeah.
We've got so many podcasts. We're reusing material we didn't even know we used before. No, I'm just kidding.
I know we did one similar with the.
I don't know.
The
it just sounds so familiar
like
to me.
5 zombies or one werewolf. We did that.
Maybe I heard it somewhere else. I might have just heard it somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe. I just find these randomly online, but you could have heard it in the Would You
Rather. I mean, it could have been like on an extra Would You Rather game that we played one time. So a duck-sized horse or 100 horse-sized ducks. I think I'd do the 100 duck-sized horses. Duck-sized horses.
Yeah, 100 duck-sized horses.
I'd do that.
One horse-sized.
Because you just walk around kicking everything.
Yeah, you just kick them to the side. Like,
wait, hold on. Say that one more time.
Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses, the little mini horses, basically?
Okay. Yeah.
Or one horse-sized duck, a duck the size of a horse?
See, I think it should be the opposite.
I mean,
that would make it a little more challenging if it was the opposite. If it was
100 duck-sized horses, 100 horse-sized ducks.
Right, 100 horse-sized ducks. Because ducks are, I mean, they're not like geese. Geese will fucking attack you. Like, they'll bite you.
Ducks will too.
Wait. So you're saying it should be 100 horse-sized ducks or one duck-sized horse?
No.
That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know.
You're screwed. Like, yeah, you're definitely picking the one duck-sized. You know what I mean?
But no, ducks will chase after you. I mean, if you're coming near their nest or something, because I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
And if they
What
feel
kind
like
of ducks
they're
are chasing after you, though? I mean, most of the ones that I've ever come across
Actually,
are ducks, not geese, not swans, not
I
you know
think
any
that's
of them
it.
Yeah,
like
ducks run away.
little
I
mallards.
I've
so.
And,
noticed. But
I don't know. I mean, maybe if they feel if they're bigger though, then they may feel like they have
Yeah.
that advantage. Like maybe they chase after a bird smaller than them, and they'd be okay with it. They
I
just
heard
wouldn't
their
do,
bites
like-
can hurt. Like,
Yeah.
like, they can bite pretty good. So a horse-sized duck, if it bites you,
Yeah.
that's going to be pretty
well, their
dangerous.
beaks are meant to tear, not necessarily pierce. That's why it's
Ooh,
it
that's
kind of hurt
worse.
because they'll clamp down and then they'll just start like
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking 100 duck-sized horses then.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
walk
me
around
too.
and just football punt them all.
Yep.
All right, cool. One last one. Would you rather why can't I talk sometimes? Would you rather begin every sentence with "Hey, idiot," or end every sentence with "Ha, I was just kidding"?
Haha, I was just kidding.
Yeah, hey,
It would
idiot, would
confuse the crap out of everyone. No one would know whether to take you seriously or not.
No, and haha, idiot, right off the bat, you just come off like a douche right away, no matter
Well,
what.
and
the situation.
they'll stop listening too anyway. As soon as you
Yeah.
say "haha, idiot," like they'll just stop listening to everything you say.
Yeah, like imagine, like you want to tell your wife I love
It
you.
wasn't haha, idiot. Was
Hey,
it? Was
idiot,
it?
I love you. No, it was hey, idiot.
Hey, idiot.
hey,
That's
idiot,
what it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously you're gonna sound like a douche with that. Like, it's,
Right.
no matter
Yeah,
what
right
you
off the
say,
bat.
even if you're trying to say something nice. Like,
Yeah, but
Unless they really are an idiot and they know they're an idiot, and
but then again,
no.
like you're telling your wife I love you. I love you. Haha, just kidding. you look that outfit looks really great on you. Haha, just kidding. Like, you're gonna get a lot of trouble with that too, though.
no,
But
you're
first-
not. You're not getting too fat. Haha, just kidding.
but what if
See?
what if like they're like you
bad.
know like their first name is idiot or idioto.
Well, we're gonna assume their first name's not idiot or idioto.
You'd be like, hey, idiot. I'm just sorry, Spaceballs reference. How many idiots we got on this ship anyway? Yo.
one idiot, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I think they can both be really bad in different ways, because you can't. I mean, no one's gonna take you seriously saying haha, I was just kidding. And if you're trying to give a compliment, you're not really giving a compliment because you're ending it with haha, just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. But then
I don't know,
again,
but if it's a wife or someone, if that is something that you do all the time, you can't help it. Then they get it, and they wouldn't bother them after a while. It'd be half funny to them too, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, I have cancer. Haha, just kidding.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, idiot, I got cancer.
Yeah.
But like, it's also like if you're talking to your boss, so you're calling him
Hey,
hey,
idiot.
idiot, or you're saying
Yeah.
how I was just kidding. Like,
Right.
I don't know.
But I mean,
But then you could get away with saying some stuff and say, haha, just kidding. Hey, you're.
well, it also depends on the profession. Like, I don't necessarily want to be a judge sending people to jail or giving the death sentence and then say, haha, just kidding, and hit the gavel.
You see?
Bap.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. The different scenarios definitely are different.
Right. Or delivering bad news as a doctor, oh, I'm sorry, your father only has 10 minutes to live. You better run in there and say goodbye. Ha, just kidding.
Yeah.
Congratulations, it's a boy. Haha, just kidding.
But
Yeah.
no, but no, I'm serious. Haha, just kidding. Like, everything you say, you have to finish with that. So you can't actually tell them he has X amount of time to live. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Well, you would structure your sentences to fit it. Okay.
Now,
Or
how
you'd
can
have
you-
someone to go in
how
there
can
and
you
say
structure
that serious
Well,
thing.
no, you can't assume that. You can't. That's a loophole. We can't assume that loophole. So how would you structure telling somebody that their parent has 3 months to live without?
You don't structure that. You
with-
send someone else in there to do it for you.
That's what I'm saying. Let's assume you can't. So you're
Yeah.
a doctor. You got to go tell them. How do you structure it without haha, just kidding, without sounding like a
Your father's going to live. Haha, just kidding.
He's got the year to live. Haha, just kidding. Just 6 months.
I guess that's how you do it. So you got a douche, but you got the point across.
Right.
You got at least a year to live. Haha, just kidding. You're dying tomorrow.
Yeah. I guess you would say your father's going to live more than 3 months. Haha, just kidding. There you go.
That's like that doctor
That's like
off
a
of
dude
Family
with
Guy.
a-
It kind of sounds like something he would say.
All right. I think haha, just kidding is a little less. You can work around that more than hey idiot. You're like a
Yeah.
douche every time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna do some of the random questions I was talking about earlier. I found a site where it just generates random questions. We have to answer them no matter what question it is. We're gonna answer it. We'll do a few of these. We're gonna spitball off them. None of us know what the questions are gonna be. Before we do that, real quick though, our new tradition is doing a shot every podcast episode. This seems like a good time to do it before these random questions. And what's great is Earl is joining us now. He joined us last episode. Now he's joining us again. I love
Well,
this.
I'm starting to get more into spirits and bourbon and stuff like that.
You don't want a shot of Four Roses?
I'm not gonna do a shot. No. I'm not gonna shoot. I'm not gonna do a shot.
All right.
I am gonna be sipping on it.
Well, yeah, Four Roses. I do agree. You sip on that.
Like, that's what I asked. I was like, "You're gonna do a shot of Four Roses? Holy crap!"
You should
I
buy
have this, and I got this in Woodford double oaked upstairs, and that's pretty
Right.
much.
Yeah. So don't do shots of that. But you should buy a cheap whiskey to do shots with us
Why would you drink cheap whiskey? What's wrong with you?
for shots for that effect, that quick effect.
Just get that stuff that Mark had. There you go.
Dude, I get that. All right, Bowman Brothers vodka. I mean, it literally tastes like water, which is not a good thing for vodka because that'll put you down quick. But that's something you can shoot all day, no problem. Anybody could.
But you could do a shot of that that $20 Buffalo Trace whiskey you had last week.
If I can find a benchmark. Yeah.
Yeah, benchmark. Yeah. All right.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Better with beers and whiskey.
Yeah, you got a better glass than I got there. I like that glass.
Mm-hmm.
With tulip glasses.
Cool. All right. You guys ready for some of these random questions? Whatever pops up, we got to answer. I don't know. I test.
That's what she said. Sorry.
Yes, I love this, Earl.
Four Roses talking. Don't mind.
Right? Yeah, he just poured the Four Roses. He's already went away.
Please, Ron. I love it. I love it. All right, let's go. I'm gonna take it.
Oh man.
All right, it just popped up. What's the best thing you got from your parents?
Life. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, that's an obvious, clear answer, I guess.
It's gonna be funny or deep. I don't know.
Well,
It's good principles.
So
Good
this
principles.
I love this segment only because it's our first time doing it, but what I was thinking was you can go either way. Like it's just a random. We have no clue what the question is. It popped up, so whatever your first thought is, it could be deeper. It could be something simple, like Alex just said, life, which I love the answer actually. But whatever you want to do.
I would say okay, because this could be it's a fun, it's a deep thing, a well-roundedness of the world. Like we grew up with family, we went to church, we always sat down at dinner together as a family. We had good moral values, and then at least a lot of our family enjoyed having a good time, and we picked up on that. And at least when I married my wife, her family was very different, not opposite, not like boring or bland or anything, but just very different. And this was a part of, I don't know, my wife wasn't used to that side of getting a little, having a little fun every now and then type thing, which is, she's fine with and everything like that. But it took her a while to kind of adjust. And so I feel like that our parents, our family, we weren't rich by any means, but they try to take us different places. They try to show us different experiences and not just one side of the world or one type of people. We were around people that were well off. We were around people that didn't have much money. We went to the mountains. We went to the beach. We went all over the place. We were as cultured as they could afford us to be.
Right.
If that makes sense. So
I remember our family going out into the parking lot at your wedding and doing shots.
Yeah, that happened.
That's awesome. Love that. All right, so Alex went really simple life. You went a little deeper. I'm gonna be a little sentimental here, but this is for you, Brianna. They gave me an awesome sister, an amazing sister.
Oh, sorry.
Don't listen to him, Brianna.
She's gonna watch this and fly back from Germany just to kick my ass. I know it.
Yeah.
Hey, you should take that compliment well, because not all siblings are worth it.
Hey, you know what? I will say this. No, for all the years that I've known Brandon and Brianna through Brandon, I've never actually feared any of my friends' sisters more. So there you go, Brianna.
Wait, is that a compliment or?
Sure.
No. My parents gave me an awesome sister. I love her to death. My best friend. So
is she older or younger than you?
Younger.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
I picked on her when we're obviously younger.
Naturally.
Because I was the older brother, but we've been through a lot together, and we're closer than ever nowadays. So
Well, I think that happens a lot when you grow up too. It's like I mean, honestly, Alex and I we got more closer in the past probably 5 to 6 years than we ever had been,
Mhm.
or that type of thing. So it's just I don't know. When you're growing up, you always have to live together. You don't assimilate or appreciate each other as much. I don't think as until you start moving away, having your own lives, and then you really start enjoying that company when you have it. So.
Especially when I'm constantly stealing your stuff.
Yeah. And the certain life events as well. Like she was there for me. She was like the main person there for me throughout my divorce. So like when I was calling and crying, I was calling her all the time crying, and she was there for me, talking to me. So like it plays a big part. So not to get sentimental, but that was my answer.
Good deal.
All right.
Be sentimental.
Yeah. Love you, sis. Next question. What's still
I'm just trying to win brownie points for your next date on Bumble. Don't even know. I'm kidding.
He's so deep.
Hey.
He's got feelings. He's not afraid to express his feelings.
ladies, family is important to me.
There it is. Yep.
What still makes you cringe when you think back on it?
Oh, just anything in particular.
Yeah.
Like,
what still makes you cringe? Let me think. See, this is the only hard part about this. Sometimes it's gonna make us think, and we have some dead air. But what makes me cringe?
I mean, I like everyone has regrets, but it's like I feel like the older you get, then you don't have as I don't know, you don't regret it as much. So it's hard to think back.
Why was my? I'm not gonna lie. Why was my first thought was porta potties out in the field? Honestly, I literally just thought of porta potties out in like a hot desert, out in the field during like a field training exercise or whatever. That's my first thought. That makes me cringe. I don't know why I thought of that, but clearly,
a bad memory. Cringe. Okay, yeah, I can think of one thing that comes up in your memory that makes you cringe about a uneasy time.
Yeah. That's why I like these questions though, because my first thought was something crazy like that, but it could be a deeper thing or whatever.
No, that's pretty cringeworthy. I mean, that was they're awful, especially in training areas where there's like 400 people out there and they only come by to clean out the porta potties like once every couple weeks, if that. And then of course, but you always have plenty of entertainment because when you're basically having to squat instead of sit down on the seat because you might sit on someone else's pile. You got plenty to read written all over the inside of the door.
Yeah. And to take this to a whole nother level, other things happened inside those porta potties.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, that's the only private area you have to relieve stress.
Yep.
And you got to do that with this cringeworthy smell in there.
We've all seen Jarhead. All right.
I got every episode. I say at least one thing that makes Earl go, "Wow" or "Geez."
Wow. I'm just. You know what? I think I am going to chug this 406.
And I give him that visual.
Were you in the Navy? Is that what you said? No, I'm sorry.
Oh!
There's a lot of burns going on this episode. Okay.
I was not in the services. I only hear stories. So.
Hey, you're the police force. I mean,
yes, definitely different. But relatively same rank structure and the type of things you deal with. I guess.
Are we not worthy?
No, you're more worthy.
Oh, thank you.
So I do kind of regret not joining the military when I got out of high school. But going back to things you talk about, you regret it. See, I don't know. Think of a cringe-worthy.
Not necessarily like regret, just cringe-worthy. Like
I know, it's just it don't have to be something deep or whatever. Like, and if you can't think of anything, that's fine. We'll move on to the next question. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just can't think of anything. I'm sure that something will come. Something like I'll smell something that's like horrible. Like I can cringe thinking about that awful beer that we drank the other
Exactly. I was going to say that awful beer you had where you couldn't finish it. That's cringeworthy.
That was bad because that tasted. If you didn't see that episode yet, go back and watch episode 10 because that it was a beer that tasted like DEET. Like if you're trying to spray it backwards off on you so the bugs don't get on you, and it gets in the air, and all of a sudden you end up a little bit on your tongue. They really had a beer that kind of tasted like that.
There you go.
And now I think that was
now that you think back on it, which is what it said, cringeworthy. By the way, speaking of beer,
I'll go with that.
I finally poured it. It's kind of hazy.
Whoa!
It's got
kind of hazy.
I knew it would be. I knew it would be though. The way you
crap.
described it, it has to be like a really juicy IPA.
yeah. It's got
Wow.
it's got like little I don't know, particles, or it looks like, you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
unfiltered.
Yeah.
yeah.
It looks like that Grove Stand orange juice that like has you basically are just drinking oranges.
You're chewing
right
your
now.
beer.
I mean,
Yeah.
It smells like it. I mean, you smell like
You need a
that
fork?
passion fruit and peach. in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's good though. It's
No,
good.
I knew it was like that's why I wanted to see it because it's
Yeah.
like that sounds like it's going to be really bright orange and really thick and hazy.
Yeah.
That's what I was picturing when you were describing it. So yeah,
Well, I would say my most cringeworthy because I honestly I've been sitting here the whole time
Oh
debating
shit!
whether
I'm sorry.
I'm actually
My bad. My bad.
like I was really well because I was debating on just letting you move on because I wasn't sure if I should. It's already been mentioned that I've been married a couple times, but
you're really good at it. Practice makes perfect.
right. But I would say that my most like cringeworthy, like the first thing that popped into my head was probably like the end point of my first marriage was just loaded with cringeworthy memories and things. And to add on to that, this person went on to create a lot more cringeworthy memories for people that I know that I later became a little bit closer to because we had that in common. It's weird how that kind of stuff works out, but
That's true.
That's called living in a small town.
yeah, or small
That's
state.
true.
Small state. That's right.
Small,
Yeah.
small state
Yeah.
and small
Yeah,
town.
for all you big staters out there, Delaware only has 3 counties.
Yeah.
Count them, 3.
Wait, so,
We got 90 in Virginia.
yeah. And a lot in PA. I'm not sure how many in PA, but I'm from Delaware originally. From start to finish, top to Delaware, you can get through it in what, like
2 hours.
About 2.5.
2.5? Yeah. So still,
depending
like,
on-
it's
depending
crazy
on
how
traffic,
small
but
it is.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if 95 went from top to bottom, then yeah, sure, 2 hours. But because you got to go like 95 and one
Route
and,
yeah.
and
Or Route 1 all the way.
beaches and
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. we'll keep it at that because we have one more segment we want to get to. But I think we'll try that again later. I
No,
kinda
that's
that.
fun. It makes you think off the cuff too.
Yeah, it's a spitballing. Our core is spitballing on this podcast. I know we do some set segments, but spitballing is kind of our core. So I kind of like how it's just questions that none of us know what's coming up, and we got to answer it, whether it's deep, funny, whatever, immature. Yeah. All right. So our last segment. So what we're doing, like, I'll let Alex explain a little more, but so what we're doing is where do you want to explain it, Alex?
Yeah, I'll explain. So
this is Alex's segment. It's his idea, so I'm gonna give the credit to him. So I'll let him go take it over.
So everyone's heard of pairing drinks with different food, whether you're pairing wines with, different Italian dishes or chicken or steak. And, in the past, I don't know, decade or so, with the big craft beer boom, there has been beer dinners where they pair beers with different foods. Well, in this segment, we are going to pair beers with superheroes. And how we decided to kind of compartmentalize this is we each selected our own group of superheroes. Brandon, his backdrop. Brandon, you want to explain who those people are that are standing behind
There's
you?
fine individuals back there that I grew up
All right,
with.
so these fine individuals behind me aren't your typical superheroes. So I'm using the joke. I hate using this because it's technically other branches that use this against Marines, but a joke on the Marines is like they like to eat crowns, and that we're so simple and not dumb, whatever. And we like pretty colors, that kind of stuff. So
It's kind of like that candy corn joke from our Halloween episode, Brandon.
Exactly. So there you go. So I didn't pick your traditional superheroes, but they are heroes. They do save people. They do save the world. They do fight off bad guys. They're the Power Rangers behind me.
Yeah,
and
That's good.
So I'm picking. So we're not picking exact beers. We're picking style of beers that represent certain superheroes, which Alex will explain more. So I'm going to pick style of beers that I'm pairing with these Power Rangers behind me, not the White Ranger. I'm only doing the 5 original. So I'm blocking the White Ranger. I'm wearing white. Did it on purpose. But yeah, so I'm doing the Power Ranger. That's why I have my background. And Alex, what are you doing? Or whoever's next.
Go ahead, Earl.
I'm gonna do X-Men. I don't want to do Avengers. Everything's been Avengers lately, past like 5-10 years. I want to do X-Men.
Yeah.
There you go. I got it.
Yep. And I'm going to switch over to DC and do Justice League. And to be more specific, because I know that for all the comic book nerds out there, Justice League has had a lot of different members over those years in the comic books. So I'm just sticking with the recent Justice League movie that was released that has Superman, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Aquaman.
Yeah. All right. So since you guys are doing actual real superheroes, I guess, do you want me to go first to get
Because they're all real superheroes.
Yeah,
Hey,
of course.
Power Rangers are superheroes.
And what's nice, like we were talking about this before we started recording, like Power Rangers is all of our era, the original Power Rangers, the best Power Rangers, the only Power Rangers right here, the OG. So they are superheroes, and they're
They're
bad.
probably closer to superheroes than any of our heroes, because at least the Power Rangers, they're normal people, right?
Right.
They're normal people living normal lives, and then they put on the suit and they become a hero, and they save, the day.
Exactly.
Dun, dun,
So,
dun.
all right. So I'll start. And I'll start with the Red Ranger. With the Red Ranger, I'm pairing the Red Ranger with an Imperial Red Ale. And the reason for that, so I have my notes here. Obviously, red is number one.
Wow. Again, crowns.
I get real deep. Are you guys prepared for this? I'm getting so deep in this. That disregard. Anyway, strong. He's always been the leader, so he's kind of like that strong, like leader type role. Intense. So an Imperial Red Ale is high in alcohol percentage. Usually it's like 9-10% or higher. So the strong and intense, that is what I'm pairing with that. And the last thing I have here is in your face. It's gonna hit you in your face. You have enough of those, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna pack a punch. That flavor. So that's what I'm giving for the Red Ranger. Next up, we got the Blue Ranger. So we're all doing all five, and then we're gonna move on to each one.
Oh, I thought we were doing one each, and then
No, I'll just all five. We'll run through.
Move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next up, Blue Ranger. I have a blueberry sour, because when I think of the Blue Ranger, I think of him as a nerdy type. He's kind of nerdy. He's also smart. So when I think of that, though, I'm kind of thinking of like a hipster from DC. The guys who think they're they got the newest trends. They're nerdy. They dress all nice, whatever. So
Little fruity.
Whatever. So I always think when I think of sours, I think of it started in like DC, with the hipsters. That's where really kind of, maybe it didn't start there, but that's what I think of. You know what I mean? Because it's very niche style of beer, and it's a trend that I think started from the hipsters drinking it, saying it's good, and it kind of branched out. Whatever. That's just my opinion. Sorry if I offend anybody with that. I hate sours. But anyway, I love the Blue Ranger though. Next up, the Black Ranger. All I have here is tall, dark, and handsome. And it makes me think of a chocolate stout. Chocolate stout, tall, dark, and handsome. Anyway, Pink Ranger, next up.
Moving on.
I mean, there's nothing bad about that. I just I love stouts, so why not just do a chocolate stout and tall, dark, and handsome. There you go. He was a badass. Next up, Pink Ranger. Oh, no, I'll go to Yellow Ranger first because there's a reason for that. Yellow Ranger. I picked a pineapple IPA. Obviously, for one, yellow, because pineapple's yellow. Simple. Also underrated. Have you ever had a pineapple IPA?
Absolutely.
It sounds a little different, but they're actually
it's
pretty good. It's
fantastic,
kind of
yeah.
underrated. So I have that as well. And also packs a lot of punch with a little extra something. That's what I have here. You know what I mean? It's underrated, but they pack a lot of punch with a little extra something. So that's what I got for the Yellow Ranger. And then the Pink Ranger. I actually, out of all the ones prior is a style of beer. This one I picked a specific beer. Dogfish, Dragon, Yum Yums.
Okay.
It's
Dragons and Yum
Dragon
Yum.
fruit.
Yeah, Dragon Fruit, Yum Yums. So obviously a pink label. So I related that with the Pink Ranger. I have here pretty, pink, fruity, and lips smackingly. So on the label it says lips smackingly tropical pale ale. And Pink Ranger's always hot, so that's some lips I would love to smack. So
It's a really good beer.
yeah, it's a good beer. Yeah. So that's my lineup for the Power Rangers. So
Okay.
there it is.
Nerd.
What do you guys think?
I like it. That's good. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. No,
Is there? And I mean, I could be. I've never seen it. I'm sure there is. I've never seen an Imperial red ale. I mean, there probably is.
Oh yeah.
I just haven't come across any. I'm not saying there isn't.
there's a whole line of
that'd be
of
interesting to
Irish,
try.
like Irish Reds. They have Imperial Irish Reds.
Okay.
I don't know exactly who, but
Find a Irish red, an Imperial Irish red. You can refer me to. I'd be happy to seek that out and find it. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, Rogue has one. That's the last one I had was Rogue. It was a while
Rogue's got
ago,
Imperial.
but,
Okay, I like Rogue.
I'm trying to find what it was called. Rogue XS Imperial Red Ale.
Okay.
So that's a very good one. But yeah,
Because red ales are like a little sweet too, with and that on the back end. And
Yeah.
to have an Imperial to add some that alcohol to it, it might actually make it a little more complex.
yeah, and also Ballast Point Tongue Buckler is an Imperial Red Ale, which I've had, which is very
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So in general, the use of an American hops in the American Imperial Red Ale lends to the perception of the medium hop bitterness,
Mhm.
flavor, and aroma.
Right.
The description of a
Okay.
Imperial
No,
Red Ale.
I had no doubt they exist. I just just thinking about it, I was like, I don't think I've ever had an Imperial red ale. I've had a lot of red ales, but that
And you know what? And as far as like, because a lot of people are starting to mix, different beers together.
Yeah.
So like maybe an Imperial Red Ale might actually mix well into something like that,
like a sour or something.
or like the Dragons and Yum Yums. Might
Yeah.
mix well into an Imperial Red.
Are you saying Jason and Kimberly might have actually had a thing?
Hey,
Yeah. There you go.
They
Yeah.
did though. Didn't they? I don't know. I can't remember.
They did.
It's good that I remember the names though.
Yeah. Jason.
I did not.
Oh, I'll see. Jason, Kimberly, Billy was a Blue Ranger.
Oh yeah.
Zach was a Black Ranger.
That is
Yep.
actually
And,
Black Ranger. Trina.
Katrina was yellow, and obviously I don't have the red or green ranger, but it was Tommy, obviously.
That's right.
He's here. All right, so who wants to go next? Earl, Alex, I don't know.
I'll go. Okay, I'll go next.
Well, let Alex go last. Is it his segment?
It's his segment. That's
We'll
right.
save
You
the
can
best for
wrap
last.
it up.
best for last.
So, like, I know, they had already picked theirs first. Brendan picked Power Rangers. That's an amazing pick. I don't know how you came up with that.
No sarcasm there. Yeah.
Alex picked Justice League, and I almost said Avengers, but I was just like, that's too easy. I grew up with I watched the X-Men cartoons growing up. I had a lot of X-Men comic books. And this is before X-Men became the cinematic thing that it's become in the past, which those movies turned out to be really good.
Yeah.
I was like,
You
I'm gonna go
had-
X-Men.
You had an awesome. I'm pretty sure you still have that collection of 96 Fleer X-Men cards.
Yeah, I never
In
got 'em all, but that
cool
was a,
Wolverine binder that I always wanted, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I
still
still got all of those. So anyway, so yeah, all those original comic book heroes. So X-Men. So of course we said we're only doing 5 because there's so
Yeah.
many X-Men you could wrap into that little category. So I'm gonna do I'm gonna say all the ones I'm gonna do first. So I'm gonna do Cyclops, of course. You got to do Cyclops. He was the leader of the X-Men of the team. Jean Grey, his girlfriend, but she was also really the number 2. Got to have Wolverine in there. It's not X-Men without Wolverine.
Nope.
Even though he's kind of a wild card, he was still always there, part of the team.
Right.
Storm is an OG X-Men.
Mhm.
I don't think she played as big a role in the newer movies as I would have hoped her to, but she is definitely an OG X-Men. And then Professor X.
Yep.
Gotta have
Yeah,
Professor
you gotta press your X for sure.
naturally. So all right, so I'll start with Cyclops. And I almost went Red Ale just because of the red beam and all that.
Yeah.
But see, Cyclops wasn't very complicated. He wasn't very deep, but he was a leader, so he was definitely bold. And so when I think of not a super complicated beer, I think of lagers usually, because they're not usually really in depth. There's there's good flavors usually, but a black lager is a very bold lager. Got a little roastiness to it. Knows how to be in charge and take over the palate basically.
I had one
And,
last week on the episode. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yep. So and that's why I think of black lager, because like I said, is some of these other X-Men's got all these deep backstories and everything, but Cyclops, you don't see much of that in his. He's got his own struggles, obviously, but he was always the tried and true leader. Not super complicated. You know exactly where you stood with him. So a black lager, black because it's very bold and knows how to take charge and put itself out there. So
I like it.
I'll go with Jean Grey next because that's kind of the order I was listening off earlier, anyways. And I'm gonna go with a quad, a Belgian quad. Now, Belgian quads, Belgians are like the big sister, big brother of like a wheat or a white ale.
Mhm.
Like some people, if you're not a big beer person, think of Blue Moon because you probably had a Blue Moon. It tends to be a little fruity, and I know a lot of females like. Oh, I don't want to say they're girly, but they're also a Miller product, so I don't drink those. But with that said, but a quad is actually a usually unfiltered. A Belgian is usually unfiltered. It's got so many flavors in it. If it's brewed with a Belgian yeast that brings out clove, banana flavors, all kinds of different flavors like that. It's lighter in color, but it will sneak up on you. And Jean Grey's got that Phoenix thing laying in the back that out of nowhere she can just explode into the most awesome superhero there ever was. And so the Belgian quad is usually about 10% ABV. And it's even though it's a really light looking beer, kind of sweet tasting, it'll sneak up on you and kick your butt if you're not careful.
Yeah.
In a good way.
I like that.
So who was I said Wolverine next? On Wolverine, I want to go earthy. I just think of him running through the woods, Wolverine, earthy, and I'm thinking of a brown ale, but specifically the Palo Santo brown ale Dogfish. And I say that I'm going to try not to go too far into it, but the Palo Santo tree in South America is what Dogfish made a big brewing vessel out of. And this tree is so dense and so hard, it will literally sink in water. They had to use a diamond tip saw to cut this tree up to make a big brewing vessel out of it. And they put a brown ale in there and it pulls out all these flavors. It's so complex. And Wolverine's got a heck of a backstory that it's like every time you read more about him or watch another episode, you learn more about his complex backstory and his emotions and everything he goes through. And is he a mean guy, good guy, bad guy? Is he in love with Jean Grey, whatever? So it's very complex. That Palo Santo Marron, it's a brown ale, but it's a super complex and earthy brown ale. And so I really like that.
Love it.
Storm, I'm going to go with a straight, like a imperial stout. Just dark, dangerous, and just bold, and just like an explosion.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that.
That's perfect.
I mean, I don't have much more of an explanation.
That's honestly literally all you need to say.
That's really, it's bold and a fearless.
Yeah, perfect.
And I'm down to Professor X, right? Last one.
Yep.
I'm going to go with the barley wine.
Okay.
And not a barley wine, how you would drink it directly out of the bottle. I'm talking one that you've been aging for at least 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it completely transforms a barley wine to just another dimension. And it is, it makes you think about every sip you take. You're sitting there thinking about and concentrating on all the different flavors and different profiles. And every time you take a sip, you're tasting something different. And so I'm going to go with a really well-aged, well-made barley wine for Professor X.
This is why I love Earl, because I had to write down all my stuff. This is pretty much all he didn't write this down. Like it's all kind of top of your head as you go. And that was so in depth and good. Perfect pairings. Perfect pairing. No, I love the pairings you did and the explanations you gave. I love that. That was good. Very well done.
It's gonna be kind of tough to follow.
I know, right? And you're the one that created this segment. You got to follow.
Right. So okay. So I'll say this. How sometimes Alex talks about something that he's really passionate about, and next thing we know, the podcast is over. Well, we talked about talking about beer and different types of beers. And I said, well, you guys got to be careful because beer is my thing. Everything from the history to the different types is like I may actually drone on because I just got that's some people got a library of knowledge in the back of their head about the most random thing nobody would ever think about. That's kind of how I am with beer. I'm not the smartest when it comes to beer. I don't have the most knowledge, but I got more than the average person.
And that's the
beer
thing.
Is better with beer.
And that's why I picked Power Rangers, because out of the three of us, we all love beer equally. I do know stuff about beer. Like my ex-father-in-law taught me a lot about beer, but I just I can't go as in depth as these two guys. And so I love these guys. That's why I picked the Power Rangers. I kept it simple. Marine kept it simple. There you go. I love it. I love it.
Was that what's the acronym? KISS.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
All right, Alex, what do you got?
All right. So I got the Justice League. Obviously, I will start with Superman. And as we alluded to earlier in the podcast, I'm going to start Superman with this beer right here.
Got to.
Kryptonite. Double Kryptonite IPA at a high ABV at 9.4%. I would say that it's perfect for being Superman's only weakness because it's probably the only thing in this world that would actually get him drunk, a beer with kryptonite in it.
Yeah.
It would weaken him enough to get him drunk. And for that, I feel like, like Superman's always, he's living that dual personality between Clark Kent and being Superman. So I would imagine for somebody who's living that dual life all the time, that sometimes he just wants to feel like the rest of the human race and normal. And he wants to be able to go out to a bar and actually get drunk instead of being able to drink every ounce of liquor and booze in the bar and not feel a thing. So if there's kryptonite brewed into the beer, which, obviously there's not actually kryptonite in here, but,
Or is there?
Right. Maybe that's why I'm rambling.
Because after having 4 of those, you might get a little weak.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean?
So that's why I picked it for him. Because it would weaken him enough for him for just, even if it's just for a moment, to feel like he's really with the rest of the human race.
I like it.
That's good. I like that.
The next one would be Batman.
Ooh, Batman.
Batman is Superman. So I purposely put them like him right after that because
talking Batman's voice right now.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
So Batman and Superman.
That's not bad. At least you didn't throw in the hillbilly at the same time.
No, don't bring that up, Earl. You almost made the whole episode. He's going to do it now. No.
Hey, I'll do it when I get to Aquaman, all right? Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Batman.
So Batman is I picked a black double IPA. So more specifically, I just recently had a black double IPA from Mispillion River. Had Darth Vader on the front of it.
Oh yeah.
Not sure how Mispillion River got the rights to be able to slap a Star Wars character on their label.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they got friends in high places, or maybe they're small enough to where they're just like, we'll get away with it. And but it is a really good beer. It's a dark IPA. So I thought about doing a stout for Batman, obviously because he's the Dark Knight. So it would be fitting for a darker beer for him. However, stouts are like really filling. The biggest thing about Bruce Wayne, his power, obviously, aside from being rich, is he's a master detective. So he's very light on his feet. He can solve complex problems. So for him, giving him a complex beer like a black double IPA would be perfect.
All right.
Next character would be the Flash. So the Flash, I gave him a light American lager. Because every time you drink a light American lager, obviously you're drinking it to feel refreshed. You're not necessarily drinking it because you want to get, hammered right away. So you're really going to start feeling a little buzzed after like 5 or 6 in, and then you're going to be racing to the bathroom to take a leak.
I thought about that. I was like, what if he's going to say he's going to run to the bathroom? I thought, that's good.
So like the Flash, he's going to be running to the bathroom.
Yeah, I like that.
So he's going to be able to get there real fast, take a leak, pop that seal, and keep on drinking.
Okay, I like that. I was wondering where you're going with that. When I first heard it, I'm like, really? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, really, like the Flash has been depicted in a couple different ways. I mean, recently, not in the movies, but like the recent comic books of the Flash have been like all muscle bound, big, bulky and everything. But some of the earlier pictures of the Flash, he was a really slim and slender dude.
And tall.
So my version, my vision of the Flash, I'm big into the CW shows. So I watched the Flash, the series, And
Right.
he's a slim, skinny guy. That's what he's.
Right.
I like I like that. I like that version.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, so that's why I picked the light American lager for the Flash.
And not to interrupt you, but just like Superman, he's another superhero I feel bad for because he can't ever get drunk.
I know,
Yeah, so metabolism's
mean?
so high. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Right.
high, yeah.
So I mean, better to have a superpower to get you to the bathroom real fast so you can take a
Yeah.
leak and keep
Yeah,
drinking.
that's all
At
you're
least.
just ranting it.
Next one is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is probably gonna. So she probably has like the most complex pick out there, and that's a porter brewed with exotic fruits and aged in port wine barrels.
You just explained Gal Gadot, really. Right there. That's the definition of her.
Yeah. So
Right.
obviously she's from the Amazon, so she's from a very exotic place. Pairing her with a beer brewed with a lot of exotic fruits would be appropriate. A porter is it's not really thick like a stout. However, it's still strong, full of I was gonna say it, full of body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All about the bottle.
And flavor, and it holds. I feel so. Porters hold flavor. Like ales hold flavor, but not. If you really want to brew a beer with a lot of different complex, fruits and tropical, flavors and everything, to really lock those flavors in there, you want to brew it into a porter or something like a porter. And then aged in port wine barrels. She's old. She's been around for a really long time. I mean, so, and like any wine, it gets better with age. So she's grown in her years. She's now out of the Amazon and seeing all of the nasty things that this world has to offer. And she's learned a lot and grown by learning more about humanity and, how to protect them. So that's why I picked that for her. Next one, the Cyborg. Cyborg is he's a little tough because I've seen him depicted in a couple different ways: cartoon, comics, and then the recent movie. So I have him a dry hopped hazy double IPA. So the dry hop to add to. So he's a bitter dude. Like he's always he's bitter. He's mad. He's not living the life that he thought he was going to live. He had the gifts that he has basically forced on him. He knows more information about the world than he really wants to know. He knows everything essentially, because he's connected to everything. And that hazy double IPA, he's got a lot of stuff going on with him, and he's learning more about himself, every day, and he's constantly changing. So, the dry hopness is that bitterness of his personality, and then the hazy double IPA is just the complexity of his body and everything that he can actually do. He's still learning about all his powers. So that's Cyborg. And then Aquaman is another more specific beer name, is the Dogfish Head Oyster Stout.
I like that. Good call.
Yeah. So I had to do it. If you haven't had the Dogfish Head Oyster Stout, it's not a year-round release. I believe it comes out in the summertime every year. But it's a great beer, and don't let the oyster part of that, deter you from actually giving it a try.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's not like you're eating raw oysters. However, there are a lot of oysters involved in the process.
You taste a hint of it. It's there.
Yeah.
That's about it though.
Yeah, and an oyster stout. So he's DC, when they came out with the most recent Justice League movie, has really done justice. See what I did there? For Aquaman by kind of pulling him out of his previous reputation of basically being a pussy. So What's the best way to do that? Cast Jason Momoa to play as Aquaman.
Oh yeah.
Is that why you're going with the oysters? Because the aphrodisiac part of it, or
Oh, I mean,
I was going more of just like, man of the sea, oysters, and stout. Jason Momoa is a big stouty dude.
And aphrodisiac. Yeah, that's a good combination.
Yeah,
he's an aphrodisiac himself. I would do him. He's a man. He's on my top 5 man crushes for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. How could he not be?
You ever seen the picture of him with like his bodyguards like walking through a studio set? His bodyguards look like minions next to him. It's crazy. So it's like he got minions walking around. He's a bodyguard in himself.
Yeah.
That's just so funny.
That's
who's guarding who here?
Right.
Right.
16 Mile in Georgetown makes a good oyster stout too.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I haven't tried that one. That's my 5.
I hate actual oysters, but I love oyster styles. It's not strong enough to where it's going to deter you. If you know what I mean, if you're not like.
I think Ballast Point makes one too, don't they?
I think so.
I think they do.
I think they do.
It's kind of like that salty sweetness, like a chocolate covered pretzel.
There you go.
Salty sweetness from Jason Momoa. If we have any ladies watching this,
wow,
love
Brandon's
that.
gonna have to excuse me.
Hey, I was talking about getting rock bottom last episode, so.
Well, yeah.
You gonna let him do that haka dance, and you're never mind. The haka.
Oh yeah. I'll let him do that. Awkward silence. Yes,
a little bit.
Yes, I finally got it at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, I got nothing though. That's
like my goal. My goal every episode is to get at least one aqua silence.
Silence.
Awkward silence.
Awkward.
From these two from something I say.
Awkward silence from the aqua.
Yeah, I mean,
man,
that matched well with what.
Yeah.
But no, dude, you guys killed it in your pairing. I love it. I'm a little more simple, obviously, but I'll own it. I'll own my simpleness. You guys went deep, and
Earl went deeper into like the beer part of it. I think I went deeper into like the personality profiles and why. So
yeah. So for those of you watching, we do have an idea. This segment was kind of for a future idea. We'll talk more about it later if we decide to do it. As far as beer pairings and
unusual beer pairings,
beer pairings, and maybe mentioning specific beers that we might add to a bucket list and trying. But I'll keep that as a teaser for now. We'll talk about it later. If we decide to do that, but that's the reason why we did this segment. But we are going to incorporate this segment in the future as well as in general, with even just styles of beer, but not necessarily with superheroes. It could be with, like we mentioned earlier, famous historical people or something like that. Like when we think of somebody, whether it's a superhero, a fictional character, or a non-fictional character, what do we think of as far as them paired with a style of beer or maybe a specific beer? So something we're working on. This podcast is not just about beers, but we like to incorporate beers as much as we can because everything's better with beers. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that segment.
That was fun. I like that.
Alex's idea, great segment. We're definitely going to incorporate that and maybe twist it in the future a little bit. Other than that, good episode. I think we're.
Yeah, that's fun. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around and enjoying it.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around. Definitely hit subscribe below, subscribe to our channel, comment as well with any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms. We don't care. Just throw whatever you want at us. We'll take it. And if we get upset, we'll just drink more beer and we'll get over it. It's cool. Follow us on social media. And otherwise, we'll see you on episode 12. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
It was a good episode.
Yep.
My ram horn.
Yeah.